Hi, I'm Murray Carter from Carter Cutlery.
And I'm Arnon of Bridgetown Forge.
Yeah, and we already posted a video where we got together and decided that since we have the similar experience of being in Japan as bladesmiths, that we were going to do a collaborative design and come up with some really unique knife. This knife, which we call the Clever Cleaver, was designed to be clever in so much that it's got a differential grind, and the back portion, the heel of the blade, is fairly stout for some pretty robust cutting tasks, and the up towards the tip of the knife is very thin and very adept at just slicing and cutting most things that you're going to encounter in the kitchen. It's not a perfect tool for just slicing vegetables, and it's not the perfect tool for chopping heavy bones all day long. But it is a multitask tool, and it can do both tasks fairly well. And if you can only have one knife, you could do a lot worse than a Clever Cleaver. We're going to demonstrate. We've got a bunch of things here we're going to cut, and I'm going to cut some hard things with the heel of the blade, and Arnon's going to cut some of the vegetable matter and so on with the forward portion of the blade, and we're going to see just how clever the two of us are if we can use the blade according to its design.
Yep.
You got anything you want to add to that?
No, only the fact that the knife is also forged from high carbon steel, and it is differentially hardened. So you have a soft back and a very hard edge.
Okay, well, we'll see how hard that edge really is, and if we've got the right edge geometry. We'll start with some safety glasses.
Well, no mercy.
No mercy, yeah. Let's start here with a piece of this 12 gauge electrical cord. Move these out of the way so we can see what's going on. Okay, well, that wasn't much of a challenge. A little bit of a hardwood dowel. Not much of a challenge there either. In fact, got a little bit of the board there while we're at it. So we've got some 3/4 inch PVC pipe here. Really challenging for the edge of any kind of like normal using knife. You can make a knife that'll cut through this that really won't cut through anything else because the edge is so obtuse. But let's see what we can do with this knife with this nice functional edge we've got here. Okay, well, chop through that and absolutely no damage to that edge whatsoever. Let's see, I guess the last thing for the heel of the blade is going to be those pig feet that you have, the frozen pig feet no less. If we want to dig those out. Okay, no, you said you had no time to defrost these.
Not really, no.
So we're just going to go for it.
Okay.
All right. My, that is a, where should we go? We'll start with the smaller end first. Okay, let's see here. Okay, well, that was a nice clean cut through there, frozen everything. Look, absolutely no damage to the heel at all. Now, we wouldn't want to do that with the front section of the blade.
Right.
It might withstand it just fine, but that's not what it's meant for. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do with the knife before I hand it over to Arnon here is I'm going to try to cut this straw down about 4 inches. That's going to demonstrate the sharpness of this forward portion of the blade and the control that you can have. There we go, look at that. Yeah, it's a beautiful cut. And then just for good measure here, okay, there we go. Real difficult test. Arnon, maybe you'd like to cut some of the softer stuff here.
Absolutely. Alrighty, over to me, I guess. So as Murray here mentioned, I will be using this cleaver to chop through some softer stuff like vegetable. So another thing about this cleaver is that if you want to chop through heavy stuff, you can hold it here and get a nice little swing, using the back section, the last 2 inches or so. But if you want to have more control and you're cutting through softer stuff, you'll be using this portion of the blade, and it behooves you to actually hold your cleaver like so. There's a nice little groove here, and you can grab the blade with your thumb and forefinger, and it gives you very good control for cutting. So let's start with the easy stuff. Okay, let's cut us some cucumbers, or a cucumber rather. Okay, so and Cut it lengthwise. And now you can roll it on the board, right? Chop cut. You can cut them pretty fine if you want. You can see each slice is fairly thin. The blade has a bit of a belly, so you can very easily roll it like so and deliver some pretty tremendous chopping action here. Okay, so as you can see, nice smooth cuts. Now let's try a carrot. Carrot presents its own challenge. You know, the carrot tends to be a little sensitive. If your knife is too thick, you know, you push it into the carrot, sometimes it just breaks. It's not a nice cut. So using the tip of the knife, just cut it lengthwise.
That sounded really good.
Yeah, so it's a nice slice, no breakage. Now I can use the same chopping action and dice it. It's quick and easy. Okay. And if you want to do some tip work, you can cut pretty thin slices of the carrot. So the control is pretty good, I would say, right? You can just hold it like this with your 2 fingers, and instead of having this very aggressive chopping action that Murray here demonstrated, you have a very fine, thin, well-controlled cut. Okay, diagonal cut. Alrighty, let's try a tomato. Okay, so nice ripe tomato, no problem at all. Cut the stem out. See, it cuts very nicely. Okay, and some full cuts. Okay, so slicing thin slices of tomato, for example, that's a nice test of a knife's sharpness and ability to slice. If the knife is, if geometry is wrong, it simply will not cut thin slices. You can maybe mangle your tomato. So here's a nice thin slice of tomato. It's looking very good. And I'm gonna eat it. Nice. So this works well. Now let's chop up some cabbage. Okay, for cabbage it's really nice to have you know, a somewhat wider blade, I find. Narrow blades, they kind of sometimes go south a little bit, so I'm just gonna chop it in two and remove the center part because it's a little hard to eat. And now let's make it into a cabbage salad. Those of you who know, it's a very traditional Russian dish. Seems to be working just fine. So this dish requires that the cabbage be julienned very fine. Otherwise you get like nice coarse chunks of cabbage and it's not really a good eating experience. But here we have nice long thin slices, just like Grandma used to make, in fact. Okay, so we're done with that, and last but not least, let us chop us some onion. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, this is not a cooking show. Okay, cut it in two. Nice. Peel it. Okay. Okay, so you can use a knife for that as well. And now, let's make some cuts. I'm going to chop this onion. I'm going to chop this onion really finely. For example, if you want to make an omelet, right, with onion, if you like that sort of thing. So see, comes out nice and fine. And here I can switch back to the rocking cut when the onion gets too small. So this part goes away. So now we have fairly finely chopped onion. If you want it really, really finely chopped, then you can always do this action.
Yeah, now, well, it's clear that the knife will slice, you know, almost as good as a purpose-built blade for slicing because of our differential grind there on the front. But can I go back to chopping some pig bones?
Yeah, you knock yourself out, man. Yeah.
Arnon, you want to tell our viewers a little bit about how the blades are finished?
Yeah. So as you can see, the blades have a satin finish on them. It's the most, we think, useful finish in a sense that you know, it wears really well. And also we leave all the forge marks on the parts that are not crucial to the actual slicing. Evidence of the fact that the blades are truly hand forged. Moreover, on some of the blades you might see tiny little marks, and we left them on too. The marks are a fairly unique process, unique to Japan that is. Use a special tool to straighten the blades after quenching, making sure that absolutely straight. And we leave these marks, we kind of think that, you know, it adds nice flavor to the blade, and you can still, it's unique to each and every blade.
So, the Clever Cleaver can chop through hard matter as well as do some fine slicing. How clever are you? Get your Clever Cleaver at cartercutlery.com and
Bridgestoneforge.com.
yeah. Get your safety glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that works.